Good morning to the fellow people, and today our group will be presenting about melting ice and rising seas. So as you can see here, this is the poster that our team have been making. So it's very simple, but this is the final design. And now I'll introduce you to our group member. So our group member consists of 5%, which is Daniel, Isa, Ebner, Eldon, and Nazar. So let me introduce you guys to our topic. So basically, climate change driven primarily because of the increases in greenhouse effect that causes the temperature to increase. This increase of temperature will cause land-based ice such as glaciers and ice sheet to melt rapidly. The melting of land base will increase the amount of seawater, which can eventually affect the human population, worldwide infrastructure, and our ecosystem. So, in this slide, I'll be talking about climate change. Do you guys know what is climate change? If no, then let me explain. Climate change is the changes in temperature, rainfall, wind and other elements at the climate system over decade. So I'm going to tell you guys what are some of the main causes that affect our climate to increase. So the main causes are greenhouse effect, deforestation, and agriculture and industrial activities. And now on this slide I'll be talking about why do ice melt? As people know, ice will melt when it absorbs and reach its melting point, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, now I'm going to be talking about what is the main cause for ice melting. The first causes is heat energy, because when ice absorbs heat or ice from its surrounding, the molecules will start moving faster and reach 0 degree Fahrenheit where the ice starts melting. And for the second cause is global warming, which happens from burning coal and gas release such as carbon dioxide. For the third cause is also sunlight absorption, which involves albedo effect, where the ice reflects sunlight to the ocean, which make the ocean darker, making the melting process faster. And lastly, the causes for melting of ice is also warm ocean. The reason I say this is because ocean absorbs 90% of the sunlight, which make the ocean warmer and can make the ice melt from below. What will happen if the ice melts? Well, for this slide, I'm going to give a simple breakdown. If the ice melts, it will make the water level rise because of the ice that rapidly melting. And also, if the ice melt, it also will make flooding of cities and land because of the increase of seawater. Also, if the ice melt, it will make loss of habitat, especially for the animal that live in the Antarctica, for example, polar bear, seals, and penguin. And for the last thing that will happen if ice melt is, it will make the ocean circulation change because the melting of ice will give a cold fresh water to the ocean, which can affect the weather around the world. And now I'll be talking about rise of seawater. So why does seawater rise? Okay, so seawater rise because of melting ice on land because when the ice on land melt, the water will flow into the ocean, making it rise. And the cause of seawater rise also because of water ocean expand. As ocean gets warmer, the water will expand, taking more space, making it rise. So maybe a lot of people will ask, does it affect people and environment? Yes, it do affect people and environment by making flood in cities, destroy homes, and damage crops, which will force the people to move. And also, there's another lot more things that seawater can affect to people, like flooding of home, loss of land, drinking water problem, health risk, and forced migration. And now, on this slide, I'm going to tell about what kind of threat to wildlife can melting ice and rise of seawater do. So, I'm going to give a simple explanation. The first threat that the wildlife can get is loss of habitat. For example, animals like polar bears, penguins, and seals, because they live in the Antarctic area. And if the ice rapidly melts, then the environment of the animal will be gone. And for the second threat, rise of seawater will make less food for the wildlife, because many sea animals rely on fish or other animals that live under the sea. Besides that, when ice melt, the whole food chain will be affected. And for the third one, are it will be harder to raise babies because some animals need ice to raise, give birth, or even protect the babies. This also will affect the coral reef because rising temperature can cause coral bleaching, which kill coral reef. Lastly, it also will make the species to may go extinct because if animals can move to new places, they might disappear. So in conclusion, melting ice and rising sea levels are serious problem by global warming because they affect people, animals and the planet. So we must take action from now on so that our world will be a better living for us. The action that we can do is save energy, for example, closing off the lights in your room if not using clean energy like solar energy, plants trees because it can absorb carbon dioxide, reduce waste like recycle, reuse and cut use of plastic. And lastly, we also can speak up to the society about climate change and ask for leaders to take action. Final message from me is every small actions make a big difference. Together, we can protect our planet for future generations. That's all for our group. Thank you, fellow peoples, for listening.